figure clad in plain clothes with a pale face, the chief strategist of the Conqueror's clan, Jester, holding a small fan, walked straight through the martial arts disciples and guards, accompanied by Mud Buddha carrying a string of large prayer beads, praising each other. They came to meet Lord Conqueror of the Conqueror's clan. Conqueror, dressed in a dark robe, appeared confident. Mud Buddha, the foremost fortune teller in the world, was consulted by Conqueror regarding his impending duel with Sword Saint. In the face of Conqueror's ambition to dominate the martial world, Mud Buddha suggested that the battle might need to be postponed for another 10 years. He then presented a prophecy to Conqueror. According to Mud Buddha, among Conqueror's 2 disciples, one bears the name Wind, and the other bears the name Cloud. Together, they can ensure Conqueror's invincibility in the first half of his life. Mud Buddha also presented the Chinkuan puzzle box, containing a prophecy for the latter half of Conqueror's life, which could only be unlocked by solving the puzzle box. In Hangzhou's House of Striding, one of the individuals mentioned by Mud Buddha, Striding Cloud, lives peacefully with his father. His father, a swordsmith, unwittingly forged the ultimate sword, leading to the massacre of House of Striding by Conqueror's forces. As Striding Cloud witnesses the slaughter of his family, he is taken away by soldier of Conqueror's clan. Meanwhile, Whispering Wind, the other individual mentioned by Mud Buddha, travels with his father near a giant Buddha statue. Having not seen his mother for over 2 years, Whispering Wind's father recalls the past when Conqueror pressured him in a bamboo forest to obtain the Blizzard Blade. In that encounter, Conqueror defeated him and took away his wife. Whispering Wind's father takes him to the Lingyun cave at the foot of the giant Buddha statue, intending to duel Conqueror with the Blizzard Blade. During the decisive battle, discovers his wife's complicity with Conqueror, who treats her as a plaything and admits that he manipulated the situation to unlock the Blizzard Blade's ultimate technique. Devastated, his wife commits suicide in front of their son, causing his father to lose focus and be devoured by the fire Kirin in the Lingyun cave. Now an orphan, Whispering Wind is taken back to be raised by Conqueror's clan, fulfilling his father's promise before the duel. Conqueror, now the leader of the Conqueror's clan, declares to the martial world that Whispering Wind, Striding Cloud, and Frost are his disciples, imparting to each of them his martial arts techniques. At this moment, a carrier pigeon arrives bearing a letter from Sword Saint, stating that the duel with Conqueror will be postponed for 10 years. Mud Buddha's words strengthened Conqueror's belief in the prophecy of Wind and Cloud, assisting him to become invincible. Time passed swiftly, and 10 years went by. Striding Cloud had become the master of Feiyun Hall, often honing his skills beneath the waterfall. However, he harbored deep affection for Charity. Meanwhile, within the forbidden grounds of Conqueror's clan, Charity, Conqueror's daughter, and Whispering Wind were developing feelings for each other, while Frost, their senior brother, kept watch outside. Inside the forbidden grounds, amidst dancing fireflies, a young couple enjoyed a moment of intimacy. In the main hall, Conqueror lamented his inability to open the treasure box containing the prophecy. He dispatched Frost and Whispering Wind to find Mud Buddha. Striding Cloud was tasked with infiltrating Unchallenged City, assassinating its lord, and retrieving the unchallenged sword. Charity, eager for adventure, decided to accompany Whispering Wind and others. After the meeting, Striding Cloud learned that Whispering Wind and Charity had entered the forbidden grounds. Alone on the rooftop, he contemplated his next move and later spent the night with Charity in her room. Days later, the city lord's son led a pursuit of a group of monks from Shaolin who were believed to be in possession of Mud Buddha. A fierce confrontation ensued, but Whispering Wind's arrival turned the tide in favor of his group. However, Frost, having discerned the true identity of the Mud Buddha, riddled with boils from revealing too much of the future, pleaded for their help in retrieving the fire monkey, the only cure for his condition. Meanwhile, in Unchallenged City, preparations were underway for the Lord's 60th birthday celebration. Unexpectedly, Striding Cloud infiltrated the city at night, decapitated the Lord, seized the unchallenged sword, and ordered the massacre of all present. The next day, the Lord's son returned home to find his family slaughtered, prompting suspicion towards Conqueror's clan. Whispering Wind's group arrived at the Lingyun cave, rumored to contain the Blood Bodhi, a cure for all ailments. Whispering Wind revealed that his father died there years ago. Before they could comprehend the situation, Mud Buddha was abducted by a mysterious figure. It turned out to be Conqueror, who compelled Mud Buddha to unlock the treasure box. Finally, the prophecy for Conqueror's later years was revealed, leaving him suspicious of Wind and Cloud's intentions. Striding Cloud returned with the unchallenged sword, consolidating Conqueror's dominance over the martial world. However, when Whispering Wind and Frost returned empty-handed, Conqueror, instead of reprimanding them, arranged a marriage between Whispering Wind and Charity. Charity, unsettled by the engagement, realized her profound affection for both Wind and Cloud. Striding Cloud's discontent with Conqueror intensified, further straining their relationship. The wedding of Whispering Wind and Charity is about to take place, and countless guests have gathered to offer their congratulations. The doctor with a magical left arm also arrives with his daughter. Meanwhile, in his daughter's chamber, Conqueror expresses his wish for her happiness, stating that he does not seek peerless martial arts or the title of the greatest in the world, but only hopes that his daughter can live a happy life. Striding Cloud continues to train beneath the waterfall as if venting his frustrations. However, just as the wedding banquet is about to begin, the son of the slain city lord suddenly barges in. Having sought vengeance with Sword Saint's support, he delivers a challenge letter. Sword Saint and Conqueror have agreed to a decisive battle on the day of the autumnal equinox. Despite the interruption, the wedding proceeds as planned. However, just before the ceremony, Striding Cloud storms into the hall and takes Charity away. Whispering Wind attempts to stop him but only manages to grab her clothes. Conqueror, seeing this, unleashes his internal energy and follows them outside. Once outside, Conqueror instigates a fight between Wind and Cloud, leading to a fierce battle. Conqueror attempts to launch a sneak attack to kill both of them, but Charity sacrifices herself to shield them, tragically losing her life in the process. Conqueror is left devastated by the realization that he has inadvertently killed his beloved daughter. Devastated by Charity's death, Striding Cloud storms into the Excalibur Hall with her body, intending to seize the Thousand-Year Ice Soul to preserve her remains. After a fierce struggle, he finally obtains the Thousand-Year Ice Soul, restoring Charity's vitality. Striding Cloud buries her in the Imperial Tomb, placing his feelings of sorrow and admiration on colorful stones placed in her hands. At this moment, Conqueror suddenly appears to claim Charity's body. Unfortunately, Striding Cloud, unable to fully utilize his power in a dry environment, is gravely wounded by Conqueror. In a desperate move, Striding Cloud sacrifices his left arm to unleash his power and traps Conqueror in the Imperial Tomb before escaping himself. He is later rescued by a skilled physician and his daughter. The girl pities Striding Cloud's plight and admires his devotion to Charity, developing feelings for him in the process. Meanwhile, the poison from the doctor's Kirin arm worsens, and realizing that he can no longer coexist with it, he decides to transplant the arm to Striding Cloud. With the Kirin arm, Striding Cloud's power increases once again, but the loss of his beloved leaves him in tears, despite having buried his emotional pain for the past 10 years. Haunted by Charity's death, Whispering Wind is ordered to retrieve the blood Bodhi from the Lingyun cave. It is said to grant decades of power to the consumer. Unbeknownst to him, Conqueror's true intention is to kill him. Days later, he arrives at the Lingyun cave with his men. Recalling memories of visiting the Leshan giant Buddha with his father, he soon discovers his father's remains and the Blizzard Blade in the cave. Just as he obtains the Blizzard Blade, he is poisoned by his men. He inadvertently consumes a blood Bodhi, purging the poison from his body. Using the Blizzard Blade, he battles the Fire Kirin in the cave, finally defeating it by utilizing the secrets of martial arts he has learned. At this time, Conqueror's cultivation goes awry, which is noticed by Jester. Jester was present when Mud Buddha mentioned the prophecy, and Conqueror's naturally suspicious nature leads him to consider the possibility of betrayal. However, he is too weak at the moment, with the decisive battle against Sword Saint looming. Upon partial recovery, Conqueror summons Frost and promises to pass on the leadership position to him, instructing him to kill Jester. Frost indeed finds Jester attempting to escape, but to Frost's surprise, Jester reveals Conqueror's plot to sow discord between Wind and Cloud. He then accompanies Frost to rescue Mud Buddha, who has been imprisoned for some time. The next day, just as Sword Saint arrives to challenge Conqueror, the atmosphere becomes tense. Mud Buddha, barely clinging to life, finally reveals to Whispering Wind the long-standing grudge between Conqueror and Wind and Cloud. The showdown between Sword Saint and Conqueror, the titans of the martial world, is about to begin. Unexpectedly, Striding Cloud arrives at the foot of the mountain, and although Sword Saint Strike severely injures Conqueror, but due to the girl's accidental touch on his body, his physical form disappeared. Wind and Cloud reunite, deciding to join forces against Conqueror. Whispering Wind personally offers him the Blood Bodhi to enhance his power, aiming to strengthen their alliance to defeat Conqueror. In the Grand Hall, Conqueror's aura is imposing, and Frost, intending to expose Conqueror's conspiracy, is ambushed and killed. Fortunately, Wind and Cloud arrive just in time, engaging in a fierce battle with Conqueror. The battle unfolds, with Striding Cloud relying on his Kirin arm and Whispering Wind wielding the Blizzard Blade. They fight their way to the Sword Graveyard's forbidden ground, but despite their efforts, their skills, taught by Conqueror himself, are no match for their masters. Conqueror deliberately withheld his ultimate techniques from them, relying instead on his exceptional swordsmanship, especially with the formidable Fire Spirit Sword in his possession. At the critical moment, Striding Cloud awakens the ultimate sword, forged by his father, with his own blood. The combined power of the ultimate sword Sword Chi and the Blizzard Blade turns the tide. Clouds gather and disperse, winds come and go, and finally, with their combined strength, Wind and Cloud defeat Conqueror. In his final moments, Conqueror is overwhelmed by illusions of his own misdeeds. After the battle, Wind and Cloud reconcile once again.